What's up, guys? So I've just realized I've made it almost the entire month of April without giving you guys a monthly update, so here we are with that. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope everyone's having a great day today. So let's get right into it. Obviously, we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, as you can tell, the Sport Trac's not behind me because it's actually absent right now. If you guys paid attention to the community tab, just a couple days ago, I posted that it had been picked up by the shop in question and is going to get one more professional once over before we decide what to do, whether it be a part out or in a new car or it get fixed. And currently, these are my two main plans, and it just depends on how this goes. So the truck is fixed. My goal is to get ahead on maintenance, fix its existing problems, and that just be it. Not really going any further. I've just figured that with all the problems I've had with it and all the extremes I've had to deal with it, I'd rather just bulletproof it the best I can, try to get a couple more years out of it before it has another major failure, and that be that. I've got a year and a half left until I graduate college, so once I'm out of that, I can get a career and I can easily afford something that is 50 times its worth and is going to be fairly new. Thinking along the lines of like Mark V Supra kind of stuff. Obviously that depends on the career and like my housing situation at that point, but a man can dream, right? So at that point, if it gets fixed, the goal is to just bulletproof it, get a couple more years out of it, get as much fun as I can out of it, and enjoy it. Take it to events, possibly even get a lot done with it. And I've thought about changing up cosmetic stuff, like swapping out the wheels, getting a wrap done, and that may happen still. But as far as like drivetrain mods, performance stuff, that'll be that. Getting the AM on will be the last thing it gets done in performance if it gets fixed, because I think just at this point it's going to cost me a lot to keep it alive, as it's proven over the last year and a half. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's kind of my goal. If it gets fixed, just catch up, bulletproof it, get a couple more years out of it at least, and then move on then. With that, if it gets fixed, the goal is to get a project car to still have something to build for you guys. Obviously, the channel revolves a lot around car builds, and I think it'd be fun to have a new platform to start fresh with on top of the Sport Trac. Keep in mind, I already have one truck. I don't need two. I've never really been crazy about the idea of having multiple trucks. You guys already know from how I've talked in previous videos about replacing the Sport Trac that I have zero intentions of buying another truck. So my main goal is to get an older 80s or 90s Japanese or Euro car, something along the lines of a CRX or a Civic or a Del Sol, or something along the lines of an E30, E36, possibly even E46, depending on the prices. A car that I can learn manual in relatively easily, a car that I can do time attack in, because that's my goal. Like I said, I'd originally intended to use the Sport Trac for this, but after just lots of thinking, I figured that it would probably be better to just have a better suited car for the job versus investing all this money and then still have troubles with red tape getting into the SCCA, as well as other governing bodies, including Grid Life and others, to actually allow the truck to drive on the track, let alone compete. So I figured at the end of the day, due to the Sport Trac's just kind of infamous, reputation of being top heavy and having rollover problems, as the Explorer as a whole, not just the Sport Trac, I figured that I would probably have the best luck getting a car that's better suited for it. I'm really shooting for an E30 because that's what I've wanted for years, is an E30, as well as like a CRX or a Civic in particular. Like any of those three would probably make me the happiest. But the goal is to build a full-on time attack race car. So it'll be gutted, it'll have a cage, it'll have the whole 9 yards. It'll be a really nice spec car. That's kind of the goal, is to get it set up to be fun and be a road courser, where the Sport Trac is currently unable to do that due to its kind of reputation, as well as not specifically mine's reputation, but as a whole, as a vehicle's reputation. So yeah, that's kind of that. But if the Sport Trac is replaced altogether, if this opinion comes back the truck is just completely unsavable, the goal is to get a GTI or a E90 or a F30 BMW of some sort, whether it be a 335i or an E90 form, because that's like, I can afford an E90 335, or pushing it, but I have found an F30 328 that I'm very interested in as well. But my main car is, of course, still the GTI with a DSG transmission. I haven't really been able to find any other cars I've really looked into that would be good on insurance, as well as fuel efficient, as well as fun with an aftermarket as those three. Of course, people are probably going to ask, if I get a 335 or F30, are they going to be coupes? No, they're going to be both sedans because of insurance reasons. I would totally get a coupe, but I don't want to deal with insurance problems. And I could get an E46 or something like this. I think an E46 would be a very good option, but finding an E46 that I want, which is the 330 CI, in a coupe with an automatic that is not the standard torque converter, I'm looking specifically at that point at SMG cars, or manuals even, is virtually impossible. So I'd rather get, you know, a ZF transmission and an E90 series 335, or specifically N55. I'm not looking at N54s. I do not want to deal with the headache that is an N54. If you're coming from a headache vehicle, I don't want to come to another headache. That's kind of what I'm looking into right now. So it just depends, you know. I'll get into a minute and like how this is all going to work and how all this is achievable, because this is actually something I haven't talked about with barely anybody outside of like a couple of people in my personal life. But yeah, that's kind of that. If the truck is fixed, bulletproof, catch up, that's it. No more, you know, no more performance mods, no more going any crazier than it already is. Just kind of bulletproofing it, putting on what I have left to do, which is just a stereo, the AM intake, and then the wrap, which I'm thinking about selling that and actually getting a different color. Which at that point, if I do that, I'll reveal the color that I had, that I've had all this time. But you know, stuff like that, just kind of finishing it, getting it to a point where you know, it's drivable, it's reliable, and I can have fun with it still, but not push it any farther. I think at this point, it's kind of at a point where I can't go any farther without tearing it apart, spending $6,000–7,000 in a built engine and twin turbo setup, and that being the day. You know, I'd rather not do that. I'd rather bulletproof it and getting enjoyable, and then at that point, once it's time, in a couple years, I can feasibly replace it without any sort of problem, and hopefully not have to worry about it being broken. You know, I want it to be on my own terms that I get rid of it, not on its terms. So if I can make it a couple more years and trade it in on a high note, I'd rather do that versus it being, you know, in its current state where it's so heavily damaged that trading it in is obviously impossible, because no dealership's going to take a car that can't even drive. So that's kind of that for now. I'll keep you guys updated on that as time goes on. I should know probably by the end of next week, beginning of the week after, or technically the end of this week when you guys are seeing this video. The end of this week, if not the week after that, and we can I can give you guys a full update on that, and obviously have our final decision. And if it doesn't work out, the truck is unsavable. I mean, we've got a whole new platform coming to the channel, which would be, you know, huge. I think it's a place to start fresh. It's a place to start, you know, learning about other platforms and other cultures when it comes to cars. I mean, obviously, you guys can tell I've had a good bit of Euro focus on this, because every single Japanese car that I want is bro taxed to an extreme right now. I'm looking at you and NB Miatas, NZs, and NDs especially, because they're still not even close to 10 grand. Civic SIs, I'm looking at those cars in particular. Obviously, cars like the Zs and the S2000s and stuff like that, I just can't feasibly afford insurance on, so that's why I'm not really considering those. I would if I could achievably afford them, but I would rather have an S2000, I think, over the other two. I think honestly, if I could get any car for under 10 grand, I'd be looking at a lot of different vehicles. I mean, I'd have my eyes open to many different cars, but with how my criteria is, good on insurance, fuel efficient to an extent. I mean, I don't need a gas guzzler, but I also would like to have a good balance of power, as well as affordably, you know, priced. I want it to be something I can afford and afford to insure, afford to maintain. And of course, obviously, some of my choices like the N55 through 35s and the F30s are kind of like, but you know, it's a little sketchy on that, but on the affordable maintenance part. But you know, I feel like I probably would be less likely to have problems with the mileage compared to the Sport Trac, for example, which has cost me, you know, thousands in the last like 3 or 4 years to maintain. But yeah, that's kind of an update. I think I went on a little bit too long with that. I'll keep you guys updated as time goes on. Let's talk about everything else right now, because I've already gone 9 minutes into this and I've already talked way too much about the truck. Channel-wise, though, I think, you know, we're at a really good point right now. I'm trying to get back into producing more content for you guys. I'm having a really hard time with that due to the current situation of my car stuff, and that is actually possibly going to get worse as I said earlier, how this is all going to be affordable. I actually got a new job, and I'm starting that on Tuesday, which is going to be great. It's going to be a new form of income for me. It actually pays considerably more than I made at my parts store job that I used to work at a long time ago that you guys might remember. So affording mods and affording parts and affording project cars, as long as the truck is fixed, will actually be rather attainable. And I think that that's going to be really helpful for, you know, the channel, because it's going to allow me to get more fun parts and more fun cars that you guys are going to get to enjoy. Now, do I plan on flipping cars like crazy? No, I don't. If you know, the truck is salvageable and it's been fixed, and I'm able to start saving money towards a project car, you know, I'm not going to be the kind of guy who buys one, keeps it for 2 months and flips it and, you know, gets something else. I'm going to keep a car for a long term until I just don't enjoy it anymore. That's kind of my whole thing with getting a project cars. I want it to be something I'm going to keep for a while, and that's why I'm being kind of. I mean, even with the daily, even the Sport Trac gets replaced, I mean, I'm being very picky about what the car is, because I want it to be something I'm going to keep and enjoy for years. So that's that. I got a new job. I started that on Tuesday, which is going to be fantastic. And then in the future, this is going to open up a lot of doors. I'll be able to do a lot more things to the channel. Might be able to, you know, feasibly afford a lot more high-end parts. I can do more fun stuff. I'm going to be able to achieve a lot more good stuff for the channel. So now that I've got this new job, it's going to be great. I'm really excited to start it. And, you know, get to work. You know, I want to get to work for you guys and making good content and, you know, keeping the channel alive. But as far as everything else goes with the channel, obviously if we talk about RT2 for a minute, I do have plans to introduce a new video series to RT2 soon. I've been working on planning out my next Let's Play, and I've decided on the game. I've decided on everything I need to do, but I just need to actually sit down and start recording, which I may do at a later point this week, if I can get a free minutes, possibly tomorrow afternoon, Monday afternoon, which is actually the day you guys are seeing this video, is on Monday. So if I can get time, you know, Monday afternoon to start recording some videos for you guys, for RT2, I'm going to do it, and it's going to be fun. I enjoy the Let's Play stuff. I enjoy the Gran Turismo 4 Let's Play, and this new Let's Play is going to be just as fun, even though it's going to be a completely different genre. But people who have known me and have watched the channel since 2014 know exactly what it is. It's what this channel started off as, for those who are wondering. But yeah, that's kind of the second channel update. Main channel update, everything is kind of, you know, starting to get back into full motion. I'm just waiting on getting the car situation figured out so I can make more car content for you guys. Obviously, we have a lot of events to catch up on and, you know, get to and have fun with. So at the end of the day, that's kind of our goal, is to kind of get back into rotation where we were once the car situation is resolved. Personal life updates, like I said, I got the new job. Everything is going well there. You know, I graduate college in about a year now. We actually got my actual graduation time set in stone. So now, as long as I am able to continue my registration luck that I've had the last month or so with classes, as I've gotten really lucky and was able to get every class I needed, despite being towards the end of the registration list. I've actually been able to achieve getting through college on time, and while I am going to be graduating a year behind all the people I graduated high school with, I'm still going to graduate. It's still going to be good. I'm still going to have a really good degree that I'm going to get a lot of use out of, so I'm really excited for it, and obviously that's great, and all of that. I'm excited. You know, it's a lot of excitement, at least. But yeah, I think all that said, the last thing is the podcast. I'm still working on planning everything out. I'm in the last phases of that, so I should be ready to start production here soon. And that'll be great. I think the first episode we're going to do on the EPA and the Clean Air Act, which I think I already mentioned in a previous video. So we'll have that out hopefully in the next month or so. I'm hoping to finally get started on recording here soon and have that ready for you guys. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to cover. So yeah, just keep your eyes out in the next week or so. I should have at least kind of a basic idea of how things are going by the middle of this week, and I should know the full story by the end of this week, if not beginning of next week. So I'll have a full update on you guys, a full verdict for you guys, hopefully the next week and a half or so. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, more content coming soon to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, guys.